Hello, and today we're doing an FPL preview for Game Week 32. It's double Game Week time, and it is 1, 2, 3, triple captain time. That's right, we're doing it this week. I'll reveal at the end who that player is. Could be anyone, but we're going to go through our transfers this week, our captaincy, our selection, all that juicy stuff. And talking of juicy stuff, this is merch from FPL Juice. If you don't already watch them, they do podcasts every 8:30 Tuesday, and it's quality. They got puns in there, football puns. They've got, you know, freshly squeezed information and gossip, transfer suggestions, and much, much more. So go check them out on YouTube, and they can give away a PS5 when they get to 1,000 subs. So subscribe as well if you're into that sort of thing. But today we're doing an FPL preview for this big game week. Now, last week I'm aware that it was a shambles. And as far as I'm aware, this FPL season is over. Now I say this because last week was an absolute nightmare. Everything went against me and it just wasn't very nice. And it just felt like FPL just wasn't really being that kind. So it feels pretty hopeless at this point. So maybe I'd just end the season, have a bit of fun, don't really take it too seriously. But we still got to grind. We probably will just always take it seriously because that's fantasy football for you. There's pride of finishing in your mini leagues and getting high points in your mini leagues and always getting that green arrow. We didn't get that green arrow last week. We were in the red arrow gang, and it was our first red arrow since Game Week 27. So, yeah, it's a shame to really put a dent in that good form. But, you know, it is what it is. Let's see how we can end the season. And my -8 hit last week just didn't go to plan. Apart from Trent, Jota and Neto, absolute nightmare. And obviously, when you do a -8 hit, you need those players to really deliver to make up for the big points hit. But it didn't work. And hopefully this -8 hit will work. We're going big again. We're going bold again. But I think these players, fingers crossed, will be worth it. So we're going to get into our transfers at the end of the video, as well as captaincy and, you know, triple captaincy. But first of all, let's talk about our lineup for this double game week. So coming off the back of that Game Week 31, we're sitting on 1,890 points, 391k rank. So basically, let's try and get that 200k. That's a great aim. We were looking for 600k at the start of the season, but we've kind of surpassed that. So got to keep pushing, got to keep grinding, and let's see if we can get some good records. But basically, let's get into my selection. Now, the first thing to decide is a difficult thing, and that, my friends, is who we play in between the posts. The goalkeeper for Game Week 32. It's such a difficult toss-up because a lot of people are going to play Edouard Mendy. Great fixture against Brighton. Brighton, yeah, they've improved and, you know, they've been converting a few more of their chances that they create. But they're still not the best attacking team. And from a defensive point of view, it's not a bad team to target. Especially Chelsea, who this season have been quite solid defensively. Last few games, not the case, but, you know, their wins in the Champions League will give them confidence. Despite their loss to Porto, they were already through. They get through to the semis, and they'll want to get qualification for Europa League at least in the Premier League. So, with that, you'd imagine they go back to that solid defensive unit. And Brighton aren't attacking that much of a threat. So, I just feel like this is a great game for Mendy. But he has been really dodgy recently. And a man that never seems to be dodgy right now is Emi Martinez. Emi Martinez, what a legend. 4 points against Liverpool. But we benched him. And it just stung. And in that instance, we targeted the fixture. And it didn't work. So, should we go against that this week? Should we go with a Man City fixture that, yes, it will be tough. Chances are no clean sheet. But save points? Could Brighton even score this week? I don't know. So that one is going to be a late call, I think, with the deadline coming up at this point in time. But right now, between the sticks is Martinez. You know, which way do we swing? I really don't know. But let's move on to our defence. And I think this is a little bit clearer for us to decide, really. So at least we've got that to, you know, help us out. So at this point in time, we have the interesting conundrum that is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, I say a conundrum mainly because we've got Patrick Bamford in our team and we want him to score points. But it's against Leeds and we want, in a way, Trent to also keep a clean sheet. What a great entrance into my team from Trent last week. The goal against Villa, great scenes and a wonderful way to prove Southgate wrong. He should be in that squad, in my opinion, for England Euro 2020. But ultimately, it's a game against Leeds where Liverpool are going to attack. Away from home, we know they've got threat. And, you know, on that right-hand side, Trent loves to whip in balls for people like Diogo Jota, for people like Roberto Firmino. And I think it could be perfect with Trent because, you know, he takes corners and Leeds struggle to defend from corners. So let's hope for some big points here for Trent. In the reverse fixture, it was, of course, that absolute thriller, 4-3 on the day. And Trent couldn't find the assist. But another man that did find the assist is Stuart Dallas. And we are starting him this week at all costs. We were absolutely gutted last week when he was third on our bench and didn't play. But that's just the unluckiness of it. You can't predict 2 goals against Man City. But maybe, just maybe, because Dallas has been so good, you just take the hits. You take the hits, and what I mean by that is you play a big team, you concede like 6, you get -1 for Dallas, so be it. Next week, he scores a goal, he redeems himself. You got to just sometimes just take the hits, play Dallas every week, so you don't forget and you don't, regret. Sorry, you don't miss out on it because he is a threat every time Leeds go forward. He plays in midfield. It's just the perfect conundrum for fantasy football. It's the next out of position player that we're really getting the points from. So it is ideal that we play Dallas every week. Now, the Liverpool fixture is horrible, I'll admit. But if Trent goes and has an absolute wonderful game, then not great for Dallas. But vice versa. If Dallas scores a goal, Trent doesn't get a clean sheet, then it's perfect. So I actually will play Dallas this week, even though the tough fixture, he did it against Man City. Who's to say he can't do it against Liverpool? And Stuart Dallas is my second defender right now at this point in time, with Martinez, as we mentioned, currently between the sticks. But I really don't know what I'm going to do about that because it's just a really tough one this week. You know, there's a lot of decisions to make. I've generally got like a really solid team all around the pitch. But the problem is, do we bench them and do we play them? That is the ultimate question. But next up, the third defender we currently have in our team is Ruben Diaz, the Portuguese maestro. And he has been brilliant for me this season. It's got to be said. So consistent with clean sheets. But we did hit a bit of a brick wall last week. For the first time in ages, he didn't start the game. And John Stones did instead. So that really did sting. But at least it meant that I could get, you know, Bamford's points. I could get other points. When I say other points, I mean no points. Because Cresswell didn't get any points. And when he came on, Target for me didn't get any points. So even though they played, they did absolutely nothing. But ultimately, hopefully, Ruben Diaz, because he didn't play in that last game, should play in this one, by theory. And Ruben Diaz, great attacking set-piece delivery. Man City do provide. And Diaz, hopefully, will be on the end of one of these in a few more weeks and in the next few weeks. So, yeah, I like Ruben Diaz as an option. He's a great, solid defender. Plays most of the time. Wasn't our week that time, but hopefully it should be our week this week. So, yeah, with Aston Villa, you know, it's not going to be an easy game for Man City, but if anyone's going to get goals against Villa, then it'll probably be Diaz. And without Jack Grealish, I wouldn't say that Villa are going to be a massive threat on that Man City defence. But, you know, after losing to Leeds, maybe they start to crumble in their confidence. The chances are not likely, though. So, hopefully some clean sheet points there for Ruben Diaz as we keep him for one more week after that game week 33 blank that's coming up very soon. But yeah, Ruben Diaz, quality player, and maybe we keep him beyond game week 33 because we could just bench him that week and, you know, he's probably one of those players you want to just hold. But, you know, with Man City right now, the rotation is just too stressful and I can't be dealing with it. So maybe he goes late on, who even knows. But he is our third defender this week. The fourth defender this week is the absolute legend in this team called Aaron Cresswell. Now, he got unlucky in the last match, went off injured, slight hamstring injury, and that is always a bit of a worry, but it looks like he might be all right to return. Look, at the minute, right, I'm thinking about the fixture. It's Newcastle. Newcastle are fighting for survival. And ultimately, that could be an end-to-end high-scoring game, which is not exactly ideal for defensive point of view from Cresswell. But it doesn't matter. If Cresswell's there to play, he gets attacking potential. He gets those assists from free kicks and corners. So ultimately, I think that Cresswell is still a good option this week. Even if he's not 100% fit, he can still get some points. And if he doesn't play at all, well then, not a problem. Because guess who we've got to come off the bench? Matt Targett. And if Dallas can do it against against Man City, then maybe Matt Targett can. Who even knows? But I think Targett's not a bad man to come in if needs be. And Cresswell is just one of those players. Like, he's done so well this season. And if he is fit to finish off the rest of the season, I'd probably want to keep him because he's just been such a great FPL asset. So it seems silly to sell him now when he might play 75% chance. But that is our back four. Trent, Dallas, Diaz, Cresswell. Now the midfield, and this is where it starts getting a bit dodgy because the first player on the list is Pedro Neto. Now, we know this guy is out for the season. Simple as this, we have to transfer him out this week. And don't you guys worry, he will be transferred out. But it's such a shame because it would have been a great fixture against Sheffield United. But, you know, that's them's the rules, as they say. Sometimes you get injuries and we have to kind of just deal with it. I've been frozen for such a long time now, which is a real frustration. But, you know, that's what they're serving up for us. So, yeah, Neto hopefully will be soon enough back for the Euros. But we just don't know at this point. Certainly not for FPL, and he's going to come out. Who for, we shall see in a bit. Fernandes, Burnley at home, great fixture, but Fernandes recently hasn't been exactly deluxe in terms of his points delivering. So it is a bit of a worry at this point, but, you know, Burnley's not a bad fixture. I think that Fernandes does always thrive when it comes to playing against the lesser teams. It's the bigger teams he struggles to get points against, but yeah, I feel like this is still a good fixture for Fernandes, and hopefully he can get some goals here to redeem himself from a few disappointing weeks. So Fernandes, hopefully, with some points there. Then we've got Diogo Jota versus Leeds, and we've said about Leeds how they're so attacking with Stuart Dallas, Rafinha, Bamford, but also we know they're very leaky, and if there's one man to put that to the sword and take advantage, I think it's Diogo Jota. Now, Salah, fair enough, he got a goal against Villa, but it was a little bit lucky. Rebound goal from Robertson's shot. Hopefully, Jota can outscore him this week because ultimately, Jota is just a quality player, both for Portugal and for Liverpool. He's just been so much of a crucial player for them, and he's taken the chances he's got when he's been on the pitch, and I'm hoping that he will be on the pitch here instead of Sadio Mane or instead of Firmino, one of those two. I think he deserves to play, but whether he will or not, we don't know. As we mentioned, though, we do have players to come off the bench if need be. But Diogo Jota, nice fixture against Leeds, who are leaky, and, you know, Jota has been really, really good this season. And then the next midfielder is Jesse Lingard. This guy has been practically perfect this season. I mean, what an absolute legend. Like, can you ask any more of an FPL asset than this? Like, Jesse Lingard, thank you. Thank you so much, because you've just been insane. Since I brought you in Game Week 27, he's been brilliant. And this is brilliant. We've got the camera back. Yeah, brilliant brace against Leeds, I think it was. And then goals, goals, goals. Even if he missed that Man United game, he gets like 12 points the next week. It's brilliant. So Jesse Lingard, legend. And now we get into that stage where we talk about the triple captain. So it's not going to be Jesse Lingard. I'm honestly taking like full truth out of this. I genuinely thought I would do it because Jesse Lingard is in unstoppable form. Nobody can stop him. He just keeps rewarding, and you just think like, at what point is Jesse Lingard going to stop scoring? It could be this week. I hope not. But ultimately, he's helping everyone's rank just shoot up this FPL season, and he's been amazing. And it's a fixture against Newcastle, which you really can't ask for more than that. But I just don't fancy it. It's not a double game week, and yeah, I'm not quite going to go for it. He's the best probably form player in the league right now, but I'm not going to go for it. I hope I don't regret that. We said we wouldn't go for the captaincy against Leicester, and then look what happened. But no, I don't think triple captain is worth it for Lingard. But we will go with the vice captain, because if by some nightmare the captain that I'm going with, this triple captain, which we'll reveal in a second, doesn't play both of the games. I mean, it has to be both, which is a bit frustrating, but it could be. They could get a last-minute injury, you never know. Then Lingard comes in as my triple captain, points deliverer. So ultimately, I would be happy with, going back to Lingard, but I just don't think this week will be the time to do it. Now we move on to our first forward, and that is Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and faces a fixture against Tottenham. He scored in the reverse fixture, of course. That was Everton's first goal of the season. Wonderfully flighted ball in from Luca Digne and a bullet header from Calvert-Lewin. But that was back in Game Week 1. And he went on a really nice purple patch between Game Week 1 and about Game Week 6. Then he went on a decent patch, scored against Liverpool, got a few goals here and there, scored against Leeds, away from home. And then it just all started to fall away for Calvert-Lewin. And Everton have just been so inconsistent. And actually, Everton at home have seemed to be performing worse than away from home. So this is a home game on Friday night. Is Calvert-Lewin going to be fit in time? Well, he missed out in the Brighton game, but it's going to be a tight stretch because they played on Monday night, they play again on Friday. And even if he is fit, do I see him getting loads of points against his Tottenham team? Well, to be fair, defensively, Spurs have been not that good recently, but I'm just not fancying it. Even if he goes and scores, I think the player who'll get more points this week will be my replacement. So, we'll talk about him in a second. But Calvert-Lewin versus Spurs, tough fixture anyway, you'd say. Especially when he's really out of form at the minute. So, Calvert-Lewin, not ideal. Then, we come to Harry Kane. And you're thinking, hang on, is this your last player then? What does that mean? It means triple captain. That's right. We've activated it on Harry Kane. Now, it's a bit predictable. Fair enough. If people have their triple captain still left, which, to be fair, is not a lot of FPL managers. Most people have spent it and wasted it or used it by now. Anyway, but this is just the best opportunity. I'm not going to let it pass up. Like, I can tease you all I like and say, oh, I'm going to do it this game week. And, I have thought about this. I have really considered this. It's just the best opportunity. Like, I can't ignore it. Kane is the most nailed on Tottenham player, and Everton, not great defensively. He's got a great record against them, and he scored a hat-trick against them once. Southampton, he did the same, a hat-trick at Wembley in the 17-18 season, and Harry Kane is Harry Kane. I mean, he's going to want the Golden Boot, he's going to want to perform well ahead of the Euros. There's just so many factors swinging Harry Kane's way, and the triple captaincy of Game Week 26, Burnley, Fulham, 24 points, not exactly ideal. We didn't do it. Glad we didn't. But let's hope for more than that this time. Everton, I feel like that game will be interesting. It could be a bit tighter than we think, but with Kane, he can still score. Southampton, I feel like that could be a bit of a walkover because Southampton are leaky when they get a few goals hit past them. So, yeah, I feel like this might be the right time for Harry Kane. So he is going to be our captain. And if it's not the triple captain for him, then of course it will be Jesse Lingard. So that is our selection. Let's quickly talk through our bench and then we'll go through transfers and I suppose we've done captaincy already, but all right, let's talk through our bench. Right now it is Mendy, Target, Gundogan, Bamford. Now you're thinking probably, hang on, why have you got Target first sub? Well, I'll tell you. Man City, will they be on a bit of a spiral? No, I'm joking. They probably won't. They'll be back to their best against Villa. But, Matt Target, if we do get you in, we probably don't want to miss out on your points because assist potential, and if Cresswell doesn't play, then he comes in. And we don't want to happen what happened last week, which was a defender goes and gets points and he doesn't come on because he's third on the bench. And I know what you always say, what FPL managers always say, back the attacker. Really? Liverpool for Bamford? Do I back him? Gundogan? Will he even play? Probably not against Villa. And Mendy, do we play him? It's a difficult choice. But in terms of our bench, I think that right now we're going to leave it at Target, Gundogan, Bamford. So let's now talk through our transfers for Game Week 32. So we really need to climb the ranks this week. We're on 391k. We know we can do better than that. But with these transfers that I'm about to tell you, I think we might just have a shout at it. So, who's coming out? First of all, it's Pedro Neto. Has to be done. He's out for the season. Who comes in? Well, I did think about this transfer last week. Didn't go ahead with it. It kind of stung because they did score. And that is Heung-min Son. Now, obviously, recently there's been a lot of random weather. You know, we don't have monsoons or Hyung monsoons anytime soon. But anyway, the point is, I don't know what I was going on about there. But Son is a great player. Yes, it's been frustrating. I've been so indecisive with Son this season. We've been transferring him out and in so often. But he has a double game week. He has a game against Sheffield United in 34. He has a game against Leeds, Wolves, Villa. I'm not going to ignore it. Son Heung-min, just please don't get injured, all right? Please, I pray. Don't get injured. You should be all right. Form that partnership once again with Harry Kane. Points for each of you. Thank you very much. Son comes in for a juicy fixture against Everton, who, of course, he scored a wonderful goal a few seasons back, I think it was, where he basically took it round the goalkeeper and then just from a really tight angle slotted it in perfectly. And I'll admit, Son was that game against Everton where he kind of got a red card and injured Andre Gomez, but that was in the past. It's not going to happen again. And yeah, Southampton, good fixture as well, I think. And Son, you know, he can score against anyone. Least of all, Southampton, who are pretty defensively poor. So I say least of all, mostly Southampton. And we all know what he did versus Southampton in the reverse fixture. 24 points. So if they play a high line again, Son could be at it once more. So what is our second transfer? We're taking another -8, but I hope it's better this time. Got to hope, because we've got to make these big moves. And the second big move, basically down to injury, but also form and fixtures are much better for this player I'm bringing in. Kelechi Iheanacho. Now, I know what you'll say. You'll say, oh, you're too late to jump on the train. Most people have already got him. Fair enough. But I'm taking this approach now, and I'm thinking points are points. Doesn't matter how you get them, and it might be the same as everyone else, but I'd rather not have a bad week. I'd rather have consistency now to the end of the season. And Iheanacho has got great fixtures. He's in the form of his life. He's now actually not the understudy. He's become the apprentice of that Leicester team. Vardy's taking a bit of a backseat. Iheanacho is really revving it up and scoring goals. Wonderful against West Ham. And I think he's going to repeat that against a leaky West Brom team. So he comes in for Calvert-Lewin, who I'm just not fancying for form right now. And finally, we've got a bit of a differential pick. Now, I said about how I'm, making changes that everyone else has already done, but this is a nice way to, negotiate that. Gundogan goes out, and the reason for that is doesn't play in 33, rotation risk. I can't be bothered with Man City players anymore. They've, got us points in previous game weeks, but now it's time to let go. So who comes in? Well, the thing is, getting Son was a tough one because the jump from Neto to Son in terms of price is pretty big. So we've got a bit budget, but I think it's good. Alan Saint-Maximin. All right, just let that sink in for a second. Bit of a differential. At 5.1 million, Newcastle look very confident to stay up. They still have a bit of work to do, and Saint-Maximin will be at the centre of that, getting goals and assists. Wonderful brace against, goal and assists, against Burnley. I think he can do it again. Even West Ham, defensively, haven't been that good this season. And I think Saint-Maximin is just class at this point. So he comes in. It's differential. It's a bit, out there. But at this point in time, fixtures might not be a problem for Saint-Maximin. He is a very good player, and, he does share my similar kind of fashion style. Great style of the merch. He's got his own merch, and that is obviously a bit more, Gucci kind of thing. But no, the point is, Saint-Maximin, I think, could be a bit of a differential. If it doesn't pay off, so be it. That's been this season, to be honest. But you got to try kind of attack the game week and go for it. So Saint-Maximin in for that fixture against West Ham United. So those are my transfers, and we've just locked in the -8. No turning back now, people. It really is locked in. So in terms of selection, this is where I have a little bit of a difficulty because basically my team is just too good. Like, the squad depth, and I've said many times this season, but the reason I have good squad depth is because of COVID, because of injuries. Like, it's just so unpredictable this season. So, basically, what we're thinking is we're probably going to, you know, start a few interesting players. Now, when I say interesting, I mean controversial. But now, I guess we'll probably play Cresswell, and we'll probably play St. Maximan. So they're kind of against each other. But maybe Cresswell doesn't play, and if Newcastle score, then that actually helps, because then I don't miss out on the Cresswell clean sheet blank, if you get what I'm saying. So let's just have a little look and try and work out how we're going to basically arrange this team in terms of selection. But yeah, let's just have a look for a second, people, and then we shall finish up the video right there. So yeah, I think I like this team. It's a bit out there. We need to really have a good week because of last week's disaster. But if it doesn't go well, it doesn't go well. You know, ultimately, we're just going for it at this point. So, what's going on here? Hang on a second. The FPL app, sorry, not app. The FPL site is just quickly disappeared. So let me just sort that out. Right, we're back in business. Right, we need to make a big decision here. Martinez starting or Mendy starting? Oh, it's too difficult, man, because I know that other people will play Mendy. It's Brighton. It's a good fixture. But Martinez, we haven't played him in a while, and he gets bonus points. What do we say, though? What do we say? We say points are points. Who's going to get more points, Mendy or Martinez this week? I mean, I'm not starting Target, and it's probably fair enough to, because it's Man City. But Martinez, man, is class. Like, he can do anything against anyone. You know, he got a clean sheet against Aston Villa. Sorry, he plays for Aston Villa. Gets a clean sheet against Arsenal earlier on in the season. Gets, you know, save points v Man United. But, I don't know. I feel like the clean sheet's not going to come. Surely not, unless something crazy happens. But the bonus points, man, it's just very tempting. Oh, I don't know at this point. I could literally flip a coin, so we might actually have to do that. Okay. I'll tell you what, I'll make up a imaginary coin and let's just hope for the best. So on this side, we'll have heads, and on the other side, we'll have tails. So, what should we choose? Should we choose heads? Can you actually read that? Yeah, heads. Or tails. We're going to flip it. I'm going tails. Tails, if I pick that, then... Hang on. No, why am I picking it? No. I don't even know what I'm doing. No, I don't pick it. Heads, it's Martinez. Tails, it's Mendy. Let's go. It has been dropped. It's on the floor. And it is heads. It's more differential to play Martinez. You never know. They did it against Liverpool. Could they get a clean sheet against City? Let's hope so. We're going with Martinez. To be fair, we haven't played him in a while. Could be a bit differential. But in terms of the next round of decisions, do we play Cresswell? I think so. Because if he's fit, chances are he will get points. You know, that's the kind of guy that Cresswell is at this point. He's quality. So Cresswell starts. Trent has to start, obviously. Dallas, for me, has to start because of that goal threat we mentioned. Do we play Ruben Diaz? That is a good question. I actually don't know about that one. Let's think about it in deep consideration. I think that we should probably just about play a little bit of... I mean, we've got rid of Gundogan, so we're not going to play him, obviously. But we just brought in St. Maximan. I think we should start him, to be honest. So let's start St. Maximan over Diaz. I mean, chances are Diaz will probably get benched again, won't he? Like, let's be honest. He probably will. So let's put Bamford first sub. Then Diaz. Yeah, let's go Diaz second sub. Hoping that he, you know, doesn't have an absolute stinker. Yeah, Diaz second sub. The thing is, Villa could keep could not score goals. So then Diaz gets a clean sheet that I miss out on. Oh, I don't know. It's difficult right now. It really is. I mean, the thing is, it's not like I've got a Man City defender to like back up Diaz not being on the pitch. So if for some reason Cresswell doesn't play, which actually could be likely, then Diaz comes in. So actually, I don't mind. I don't mind about that, to be honest, because you can't have two defenders because Bamford wouldn't come in before Diaz for Cresswell. So I'm fine with benching Diaz. I think Villa could score in that game. Honestly, I do. I think I rate Villa's attack. So let's see if we go with that. But in terms of captaincy, we've already said triple captain is Kane, vice captain is Lingard for the triple, and that is our team locked in, boys. Lovely. I think it's differential, it's interesting, and it's nice. Martinez, Trent, Dallas, Cresswell, St. Maximan, Heung-min Son, 2 games, Bruno Fernandes, Jota, Lingard vice captain for the triple captain, Iheanacho home against West Brom, lovely, and Kane triple captain versus Everton and Southampton. The bench, Mendy, Bamford, Diaz, and Target. Thanks for watching my FPL preview for Game Week 32. Hope you have enjoyed. Let's get to at least 1,990 points. I believe in the 100. No, I'm joking. I'm not getting 100, but maybe we could get to at least 80 with that triple captaincy. I mean, let's see what happens. We've got 2 double Game Week players, Son and Kane. It could even get above and beyond what we think is possible. But let's find out what happens, and I shall see you next time for my FPL review of Game Week 32. The double Game Week, we're locked in, boys, and good luck to everyone. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be an interesting one, but let's see how it swings. Thanks for watching.